All right, we are ready for our day 3 of our Mobility May workout. We are still in this first week, so we're doing an RPE of 6 or reps in reserve, leaving 4 in the tank when you're done with your set. Just touching on this RPE for a second, this level of 6, I think about it as giving 60% of your effort. However you want to look at it, level 6 out of 10 or 60%. Okay, there's a lot of different moving parts today, so we're going to set up doing our superset first, then we're going to break away and do our compound movements separate, and then we'll finish with another superset. This first one is going to be a Bulgarian split squat. I'm going to have my back foot up on my bench, so you will need some elevation. If you're at home, grab an ottoman, a chair, your couch. I have this little Pilates ring that I'm going to put in between my knees, and I'm just going to lay on the floor and just do some inner thigh squeezes. So if you, again, are at home, grab like a pillow, or if you have a stability ball, grab something that you can squeeze. If you're at the gym, then there's a machine there that does a hip adduction. So the pads are going to be on the inside and you're going to squeeze that weight in. I'm just going to show one set of each. Then I'm going to move on to the single arm lat pull. I've shown in a couple months back of tying a band up high and using a band for a lat pull. Today I'm going to actually set up my cable machine and do a single arm lat pull there, just so you can see the kind of thing that you can have at home that's pretty inexpensive. I'm just going to hit each side once here, and then I'm going to bring my bench over and do a bench press. With this, I really want to go over form with the bench press, making sure shoulder blades are pulled down and that we're actually pushing through our chest, not up in our shoulders. So I do want to go over stuff there. I'm just going to use dumbbells for the ease of it, so just using dumbbells there. If you don't have a bench, then you can just do a floor press on the ground with your weights. Lastly, another superset. I'm going to throw a plate down and use that as my deficit for a single leg calf raise. If you have a step nearby, then you're going to use that. Then I'm going to superset that with a plank pull. So in a plank position, I'm going to take that weight, I'm going to reach across with the opposite arm and pull that weight, come back to my plank, other arm reaches and pulls. So just one set there as well. Okay, again, lots of moving parts, but it's not super complicated. Okay, let's set up for our Bulgarians and then that adduction squeeze. As we go through this first set, I am actually not going to even use any weight because I want to focus on range of motion, and I want you to focus on range of motion too. Yes, we've held weight before in the Bulgarian split squats. Same thing with like our bench press and our lat pull that we're going to do later. I'm not so worried about how much you can lift, especially in this first week. We are dialing in form. Okay, I have my bench ready. Why I have this broken golf club here is I want to show you what I'm doing with my spine and that angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a back leg on my bench here, and I'm a good distance away. I'm not super close and I'm not super far away, because if I'm too far, then this back leg is like straight and I don't want that. If you're too close, you end up sitting into this back leg a little too much. So there is that kind of Goldilocks position of just that just right spot. Okay, so with my hips, my hip bones are still facing forward. What I'm going to do is lean my weight mainly on this front leg. This back leg is there just for like balance on there, although this is a very balanced challenge movement. Okay, I'm going to use golf club as an example with my spine. So here, I'm going to actually send my butt back. So nothing changed with my knee there. From here, I'm just going to come down, get that big stretch, push through that heel as I come up. So this angle really doesn't change much. Most of my weight is on this front leg. I'm going to go ahead and just start counting these. That was 3. I'm going to go to 8. There's 4. So this is staying tight. I'm not sagging down here. I'm not leaning on my knee to get up. That one doesn't count. Okay, so here, I think we said was 4, 5, 6, getting that big stretch, 7, and 1 more, and 8. Okay, let's switch sides. So just right into the other side. I'm going to use this again as that little angle. So right now I'm standing upright. What I don't want, again, is this like knee going forward. I don't want this big stretch in the hip flexor over here. When you're at the top, send your weight to this front leg and then send your butt back. That's your angle. And then now you're just going to go up and down. So I'm going to count that as 1, 2, getting that stretch, keeping this hip facing forward. 3, 4, I'm pressing through this left leg. 5, 6, 7, and here's 8. All right. For Bulgarians, if you decide to hold weight in the side that the leg is out of the way. If you decide to hold 2 weights, that's fine. Okay, those are ways to progress. Okay, we are supersetting this with that adduction squeeze. So I'm gonna come down to the floor. This little thigh master thing is gonna go in between my knees. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna time myself for 45 seconds. I'm gonna time myself for 45 seconds and I'm just gonna do really nice controlled squeezes. All right, timer has now started. So I'm keeping my butt on the ground, but I'm still squeezing my belly and I'm bringing these knees in as much as I can. I'm struggling here, I'm shaking. Control on the way back out, but I'm not losing all that tension and just like resting here. So stay with some and go in and out in that range of motion. So if you are at home and you have like a pillow or something, you really don't get that much of a squeeze. Maybe you need to butt up like maybe 3 pillows and squeeze those. If you have a stability ball, same thing. It's small movements, but they'll add up over this time. Our focus is that inner thighs. 3, 2, and 1. All right. And if you're at the gym, obviously you can play around with the tension, how much weight is on the machine. So I would say within that 45 seconds, you're probably doing 10 to 12 reps. Okay, next thing, I'm gonna get this little cable set up on the squat rack and we're going to do lat pull. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and come around the bench here. So I'm gonna straddle the bench. I'm gonna use this opposite hand to stabilize. With our range of motion, the shoulder blade can get a nice stretch, that is fine. Then the shoulder blade is gonna pull down and then you're gonna follow through with the elbow. You can do a little bit of a crunch to the side. So it's your body is kind of going side to side as your shoulder is going up and down. So it's a little like a Etch-a-Sketch, getting a stretch nice and controlled. There's 3. I kind of let my wrist flow naturally. So here's 4. I'm going to go to 8. 5. 6. Nice and slow. 7. And when I'm in this backside, I'm really focusing on that big contraction right here. So I'm pausing for a good like 1 Mississippi as I come back up. All right, go ahead and switch to the other side. I'm gonna actually move this back so you can see my shoulder. So what I want you to see here is my shoulder blade. I'm getting that stretch, pulling the blade down, and then I'm letting that elbow follow through. Slowly come back up, let the shoulder get the stretch, and pull back. Here's 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to stay a little more vertical or like leaning towards the cable. So I'm trying to stay vertical or like parallel with the cable pole. Because if I sit back too much, I'm just going to end up turning this into a row. I think this is 7. I'm going to hit 1 more. All right. I hope you could get a good view of that shoulder blade doing the work. Okay, I'm just hitting that 1 set there just because we do have more in store. I'm going to set up my bench for the bench press. And then again, I'm just going to be using dumbbells. By all means, use a barbell, use a Smith machine, anything that you have access to. Moving this back over so you can see this view, I want to go over form really quick. When you set up those shoulder blades, I want you to tuck them down, pinch them together, and glue them to the seat. With your feet, you should be able to push against the floor and kind of, I don't want you to lift your butt off of the bench, but I want you to be pushing through your feet. So you're squeezing your butt cheeks and your butt cheeks are just kind of kissing the seat there. So what this does, when you're pushing through your feet, you're pushing into the shoulder blades so you can press up. Again, we are doing a chest press, not up into the shoulders. So when I'm at the top, I'm kind of in line with the shoulders, but as I come down, I'm stretching and loading up the chest. And then as I'm going up, I'm thinking about pushing through the chest. Okay, let's grab our dumbbells. Okay, laying down, pressing up. Get those shoulder blades pinched and pulled. Feet are pressed into the ground. My butt cheeks are engaged. So from here, I'm gonna control, get a nice stretch, and then push through the chest. 1 and 2. One of the things I like with dumbbells is you're having to really control the movement of the 2 weights, where when you're using a barbell, yes, you can lift a little heavier, but it's easier to control in a sense because you're just controlling the one thing. I think that's 4, 5, let's go to 10. Nice and controlled. 6, and another thing why I like dumbbells too is because you can get deeper than with the barbell. 7, 8, again, nice control movements. We're not rushing through anything. We're focusing on form and range of motion. I think this one was 10. Slow on that way down and roll up. All right. Normally I demonstrate 2 sets of our compound movements, but I'm just gonna keep the ball rolling. Okay, I'm gonna get this bench out of the way, and then I have a plate out here that I'm gonna use for my single leg calf raises. That's gonna be my deficit. And then I'm gonna come down to the floor for our plank pulls. All right. Quickly going over this, I'm just gonna keep it body weight for this first week. In the next weeks, if you wanna hold weight, that's fine. I have this deficit set up to something that I can kind of hold on to for balance. So single leg, I have the ball of my foot on the top. I'm gonna get a nice deficit. And then at the top, I'm gonna get as high as I can. Big squeeze all the way through the glute. I have something to hold on to just for balance, but I'm not actually using it to like get up. Okay, nice stretch. Again, nice and slow. Here's 4, 5, 6, halfway. We're going to 12. 7, 8. I need to readjust this a little bit. I'm already getting a little booty burn. That's nice. Always down for a little booty burn. Here's 10. 2 more. 11 and 12. Whew, I got a good burn. Right into the other side. 12 reps. On something that's round like this is a little challenging too. I feel like I slide around a lot more. If you are at the gym, you can use a machine. I often have a little step there that you can use. That's halfway. Here's 7, 8, 9. Again, we're going to 12. I'm burning. 10, 11, and there's 12. All right, quickly, supersetting down onto the floor. I'm gonna go ahead and stay on my knees just because my shoulder's been being funny. So reminder, plank position. Actually, maybe I will go onto my toes because I'm only gonna do 8 on each side. So what I'm looking for, widen your stance, squeeze your butt, and then opposite arm is gonna pull. So there's 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So I'm not opening up my hip when I grab this weight. 4, 4. Halfway, here's 5. 5, nice and slow. 6, 6, 2 more on each side. 7, 7, 1 more. 8, and there's 8. All right, that is our 3rd day for our Mobility May. Okay, don't forget, the door closes to join the full month on Sunday. You'll have to wait till next month for the new program to start. Okay, I'll see you in there.